Okay, everybody, welcome, one and all. You can't make this up. So, Tucker Carlson has a former CIA contractor, Shawn Ryan, explaining to him on his podcast how the CIA uses podcasts to control the narrative. Remember, this is the same Tucker Carlson who was confronted by Putin. Remember that infamous Putin interview that Tucker Carlson did, the one that caused the media to have meltdowns, where even Putin said, "Hey, yo, Tucker, I know you applied to the CIA too, but okay, all right." How the CIA is using podcasts. Does it surprise me? No. If I disappear, remember, I love you. Political police. I haven't done that bit in a while. So let's go ahead. You can't make this up here. Shout at the hotspot. Let's talk about this. Let's get ready. Well, like I said, if I disappear, I love you. Truly, I do. And that's never happened before, where something is talked about on a podcast and then, SpaghettiOs. It happened. Yeah, look, I don't know if I should be doing this segment or not, because all of a sudden I'm getting a curious sense of unease coming upon me. It was gloomy and rainy yesterday, and it's very gloomy and rainy here in Chicago. A lot can happen in this concrete city. Ay, 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 ay.
No.
And what could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? But hang on, it gets better.
They wanted to get him into the U.S. and it would kill 500,000 people.
Well, okay. Hey, YouTube, I'm just going to mention a current event that did take place. A couple of current events that did take place. There was a lot of warnings, a lot of heads up that a certain event was going to take place in September. Intelligence agencies were informing the then current Bush-Cheney administration about what was going on, what was going to go down. And unfortunately, nobody was hearing anything about it, And I just want to say, again, before the internet became the tool that it was, before, the internet became what it was, maybe the media, CIA, who knows, intelligence agencies, we're trying to give people a heads up, because there's one thing that really, really shocks me still to this day in the year 2001. On March 4th, 2001, the spin-off series to the X-Files, Lone Gunman, came out. And I just wanted to throw this out here again, the pilot episode, titled Pilot. While the lone gunmen are thwarted to steal a computer chip, Byers receives news of his father's demise, and the trio soon find themselves unraveling a government conspiracy concerning an attempt to fly a commercial aircraft into the World Trade Chrysler Building. I had to censor myself. No, World Trade Center, with increased arms sales for the United States as an intended interest. Came out March 4th, 2001. January, February, March. March is the third month. What's the ninth month of the year? Not everyone at once, please. Not everyone at once, please. Please, everyone. Please. Hush. Hush, my little puppies. Hush. I don't. Because, I don't want to. You know what? I just don't want to wake up one fine morning, and all of a sudden I hear a big kaboom. I go outside to quickly investigate. Oh, big mushroom cloud in the sky. Oh, wall of fire. Oh, hey, Mastermind. Oh, hi, Wendy. Oh, hi, Trance. Oh, hi, all my viewing audience members. It's so shocking to see all of you here. What happened? Oh, gee, kid, we got vaporized by atomic fire. Oh no. I mean, come on here, folks. Let's be clear. I don't think one of us wants that. But hey, when the war in Ukraine happened, your favorite Republican and Democrat lawmakers, were doing a lot of insider trading. There's a big financial killing into war. Just throwing it out there.
Gee, Ron is trying.
Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? The future is very uncertain here, my lovelies. but doesn't surprise me. But, speaking of which, remember, there's many ways to control a narrative here, okay? I want to pull up this tweet from Easy Street, because, there's this talk about, a Joe Rogan of the left. Dems can't have a Joe Rogan left because they fundamentally do not allow anti-establishment criticism. No matter how much money they throw at it, no one will care about fawning Gen Zers pretending Democrats don't support genocide. Biden was cognate, and Medicare for all is an impossible goal. News. Democrat mega donors are debating plans to spend tens of millions of dollars on a range of influencer plans to find a liberal Rogan. Democrats throw money at a problem, countering GOP clout online. Okay, I've done a segment already. It was Tim Dillon correcting CNN. All right. Now I understand there's a lot of criticism towards a lot of these new content creators who've come out here. All right. But see, the thing is, look, Joe Rogan throughout the 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration was constantly getting it up the wazoo from corporate media saying that he is right-wing and racist and everything else. And he interviewed Bernie Sanders. Hell, he endorsed the guy. Okay. Now, look, Bernie Sanders already a nutless wonder and a cuck. Okay. There. Throwing it out there. But my goodness, even when we did a segment on Joe Rogan being smeared by CNN, YouTube had the audacity to say, oh, well, you're giving out false medical misinformation. We didn't say anything about the pandemic or the vaccine. We're just saying CNN was smearing Joe Rogan, and throwing money at a problem. Well, I think people, I like to think that the internet is smart enough to know when they see a manufactured person or somebody who had 15 minutes of fame. Okay. Maybe an influencer who talks about Haktua and then does a meme coin. Come on. We've seen these people rise up. Okay. Wait, correction. Some people just might actually fall for a liberal Rogan. But see, the thing is, just want to throw this out here. Good point. The Rogan of the left podcast, like Bernie and consequently MSNBC, ran hit pieces on them to try and deflate their influence. The basic problem with the Democrats' quest for a liberal Joe Rogan is that what they substantially want is come town or Chapo that is controlled by loyal opposition. So look, here, this came out 2016. What will become of the dirtbag left? The gleeful vulgarians of Chapo Trap House fight for irony in the age of Trump. Oh my goodness. The Pied Pipers of the dirtbag left want to lead everyone to Bernie Sanders. Many listeners would never repeat what these podcast hosts say, so why do they desperately want to hear from them? Oh, thank you, New York Times. And whoa, politics. Let's listen to what socialist women are saying about misogyny on the left. A controversy involving the podcast Chapo Trap House shines a light on bigger issues. Oh, yes, because this was in 2016. If you were a Bernie Sanders supporter, my lovelies, my mornings, my sunshines, oh, my goodness. If you were black, Latino, doesn't matter. Man, woman, and let's even add the LGBTQIA community. During 2016, and yes, in 2020, congratulations, all of you became straight white males. And it's all about controlling a narrative. It's all about controlling an idea. It's all about controlling people's perspectives and opinions. Is there a narrative that's being put upon us? Yeah. Come on. It's the internet. Look at what's trending on social media. You shouldn't be surprised by it. And, I've done a lot of interviews. Have I ever had a moment where I thought I interviewed an op? Thankfully, no. Okay. Do I think all of us in independent media might be on a list for the political police? Possibly. Don't worry. Hey, look, normally podcasters and influencers have a huge ego. Like, yeah, I'm number one. Don't worry. I'm at the bottom of the list. And thank God. Maybe. Look, I've been in the trenches of censorship for so long. I don't even know anymore, man. I don't even know. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. I've had moments where it's like, is this an op? It's like the meme. Is this an op? Is this an op? Who knows? But it does It was that interview, that 8-minute interview on Tucker Carlson's show, and of course, those tweets of examples from Brianna Joy Gray about how the Democrat Party wants to do their own liberal Joe Rogan. I mean, you did have a liberal Joe Rogan. You had Joe Rogan. Okay. I mean, it's not my fault that the woke vote blue, no matter who, industrial complex and corporate media and Democrats constantly kept on going after him. I mean, come on. If you're going to keep on trying to screw somebody over and vilify them, does it come as a surprise why they might give you a middle finger? Now, look, I might not agree with everything was Joe Rogan is saying, but I would say it's understandable why he would change. And he did, remember, fair is fair. He did give a chance for Kamala to be on his show. Same thing for Tim Walz. I mean, Joe Rogan does have a very popular podcast, and has he interviewed people where it's like, did he interview an op? Probably, maybe he did. Maybe yes, maybe no. I'll let you decide. Everyone has an opinion. No such thing as a wrong answer. But I'll leave this as a final note. I am very nervous about the future of free speech. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I need to go on a vacation. Okay. Maybe I just need to take a long sabbatical. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. And you know what? I would love it if the whole audience, because that's why I love my audience, you guys and gals say, Kit, remember when you overthought this? Ha ha ha. We all have our fun memes. We laugh. And you know what? I would love it. I would embrace it and be like, yeah, guys, 100% way off. I was wrong. But then there's a part of me that's seen what happened to all of our colleagues in independent media, how people have been censored, how people have been demonetized, destroyed, everything. And I feel something is coming. I feel it in my bones. And if I'm wrong, so be it. But you have to look at the media and question everything. Question everything. Even your favorite social media shows, all that. Question everything. You have to be your own authority. You have to know the difference between what is right and wrong. Do not be submissive and agree with everything. Question everything. Learn, hear different perspectives. That's the only way we stay a step ahead. But that interview did put a lot of chills on my spine. I was watching. I watched it like 8 times. Not 8 times. Sorry. I watched that video clip 8 times. I watched the full interview like twice. Just like, oh, okay. Okay. So I watched that 8-minute, just be clear, watched that 8-minute video like 8 times, just watching. I was like, not good. Believe you me, not good. So as I always say, keep your heads on a swivel. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And CIA, FBI, open up.